gentlemen, the show is about to start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning. Hello, everybody. Hi. Wow, look at the familiar faces.
Hey,
It is so cool. I got to figure out how to see all of you, but I'm going to figure that out. It has been a morning of disaster over here, but I am still smiling. So
because I brought you coffee.
Yes, coffee. She's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, it's wonderful. Oh, Frankie's here too. What a nice surprise. So Frank is my buddy.
Oh,
and guys,
Giuseppe heard Frank.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Is Frank there?
All right. Frank's here, but you got to relax.
I have everybody muted at the moment, everybody except Frank, because whenever we get to more than like 40 people, I tend to, it just goes into chaos. But Frank, your buddy's here, man.
Hey, thank you. It's great to be there, man.
Hey, it's what a nice surprise. I keep wondering why you don't turn up to my events. Come on, your buddy's here. Uncle Frankie's here. There's Frankie. Hello, there's your buddy.
And I'll be there in March to visit him.
Oh, good.
This is Frank's favorite dog. Anyway, so all sorts of chaos going on here this morning. The LinkedIn, Frank, can you check quickly to your LinkedIn Lives? Because the whole LinkedIn Live platform is down, according to me. Either that or they banned me again. So I'm supposed to be live on LinkedIn right now, and the whole thing is gone. And then, as you see by your titles, based on tags, it's supposed to put you in the right rooms, and it's supposed to give you the right description. And people like Sean Mod and Joris, I can't see everybody, who are Magnum Accelerator members, should have that title behind them. And I put in, when I put in the tags, I put in and instead of or, so all the tags got screwed up. Guy Cooper knows what I'm talking about. He does live events too.
And my Bluetooth isn't working on my mouse.
Yeah, but I think we should just go and have an awesome
day. Get back to my
fix them up. Yeah. Thank you for the coffee.
You're welcome.
So yeah, anytime, just bring more. Bring more anytime.
I brought you the good stuff, Henry.
The green juice. Okay. All righty. Well, awesome stuff. I think we should get started. Despite the technological chaos. Yes, poor Joris doesn't have his right title. Joris, I'm sorry, you don't have Magnum Accelerator behind your name. You're the one guy that should actually have it. With Sean it worked, but anyway, so as it goes, shit happens. Hey, Frank?
Yep. So nothing coming through there on LinkedIn Live.
Yeah, it's completely dead, which is a fantastic lesson, by the way, that happened, because that's another thing that I know Frank and we talk about a lot, is that you cannot go, as wonderful as LinkedIn is, and obviously the next 5 days are going to be really focused on helping you create that strategy and build a client attraction funnel, but you cannot rely on it. It's a little bit like building a brand new skyscraper on somebody else's rented land, right? At any moment, either their technology could fail, or they could go, hey, man, I don't like the way you look, or I don't like the political things that you click like on, and you don't have purple hair and 2 nose studs, so I'm going to just ban you. You know what I mean? So that is a very, very good lesson. So quickly, before we get into the whole thing, a little bit of a welcome and overview. Some of you have been in my coffee shop and live events before, so you know the drill. Basically, I keep everybody muted, because otherwise these things pop up all the time, because we are recording. Well, you know the dogs. We are recording the event, but it's not recording any of you. Okay, it's just basically be recording me, because I have this same event running in a different time zone later in the day. So they're going to start watching me unlive, and then as soon as I finish this event, I jump into that one and go and support it, right? So the best way to get the best results out of these kind of events is do it from a computer, be live on a big screen, turn your cameras on, because this is actually a live meeting. This is not some pre-recorded webinar. This is a live event where I'm going to show you how to do all this stuff and actually live, and I'm going to be in and out of screen sharing, and we're actually going to work on this stuff together. So if you turn your cameras off, it's a little bit like turning up at a meeting and never looking up and staying in your phone and so on. You know what I mean? It's not very nice. Use the chat, guys, please. That reminds me, let me open up my chat window, because as I have a question, and if there's a question that pertains to you, just put it in the chat. Really use that thing very, very aggressively. Also, please feel free to drop your LinkedIn URL into the chat so that other people who are in the room can connect with you. At the end of the day, you know, we're all here to make friends and influence people, except me. I offend half the room, but that's that. If you're still here, I haven't offended you yet, so we're okay with that. You know what I mean? But I'm going to be typing in caps lock because I don't want you to think I'm shouting at you. It's easier to see my instructions and notes in it. Then if you check on the bottom of your Zoom bar on the reactions button, there is a raise your hand button, which will come in very handy for the Q&A later. But I also have a tendency to go really way too fast. So there is a slow down button, okay? I have a tendency, oh, hi, Rob, good morning. Wonderful to see you, man. I have a tendency to focus on the screens of the people that I know, who are clients of mine, who have maybe done some of this training before. So I have a tendency to run and rush through things. So by all means, slow me down. And if you need me to explain something again, put up your hand, drop the question into the chat, and I will try and come back into it. What else? Quick background why I'm doing this, by the way. This is not some kind of webinar. You know, most webinars these days, you know, raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about, are like 80-20 instead of 20-80. By what I mean by that is that most webinars that you go on are supposed to teach you things. They're supposed to help you. They're supposed to add value. And then maybe for 20% of it, they can invite you to go further and go deeper. Sorry. But nowadays, it's the other way around. Most webinars that you go on, they tend to be 20% content if you're lucky and 80% upsell. This is not one of those things. You are all genuinely invited here because I really see so many people struggling with this. You know what I mean? And I struggle with it from time to time too. You know, we spend so much of our time and our energy on LinkedIn, and very few people actually get it right, and very few people get the results. And I'm not talking about these kind of so-called influencers or gurus, you know what I mean, that are giving you carousel after carousel after carousel of stupid advice of how to get more followers. You don't need more followers. It's like you don't need more sheep, right? You need people that are attracted to you because of your authentic self, who want to connect with you, who want to engage with you, who might have a problem that you can actually solve, or who might be attracted to a result that they could get by working with you that they're not aware of, right? And you want to kind of bring those people deeper into your kind of, I don't know, your environment, into your universe, a little bit like a real kind of meeting. I gotta turn around and see Yash. He's driving me nuts with his camera there. Hi, Yash. He's like just sideways. Anyway, these multiple Zoom rooms are a disaster for shiny object squirrel people like me, because I'm like, oh, what's he doing? Oh, what's he doing? Anyway, it's let me get back on track. The idea is that your vibe very much attracts your tribe, right? And there are a couple of strategic elements to LinkedIn that actually make it work. And literally almost everybody ruins it and screws it up because they're so focused on, you know, doing what the LinkedIn influencers say, and they haven't actually built a strategy. So that was my plan behind this event. How do I not kill you in one day? Well, I just divided into 5 sessions in a row that build on each other. So today is really the big picture overview. really what a design of a client and capital and partner and investor attraction funnel should look like on LinkedIn, how the whole thing works. And then we go sequentially through building a profile that actually works, to creating content. So I've got 2 content clinics in here because the content is the thing that's going to attract your audience. I'll get into that a little bit later. And then engagement techniques and advanced engagement techniques, and then how to tie it all together and actually build it into a funnel that not only attracts your client or your ideal prospect at that point, brings him deeper, where you can invite him around for coffee, invite him around to sit around your digital fireplace. And then from that meeting, you decide, okay, Chris Kasaburi, I want to invite you over to come over for dinner. Bring a bottle of bourbon, and we'll talk cold turkey. I mean, just like in real life, you wouldn't invite random strangers off the street. I mean, well, that Rob does that a little bit. He invites random strangers, but you know, he's my special friend. I mean, so everybody has one of those, but I'm trying to be serious here. So today, Laura Louise has banned Rob and me from being unmuted both at the same time, because we get into all sorts of trouble. Anyway, so I hate cold calling. There are some people. Give me a hands up here. Who loves cold calling? Oh, Chris, Karen, and Kate loves cold calling. Okay, so please do a LinkedIn course that shows me how to do cold calling, because I really hate it. I don't even like to accept cold calls. I get instantly defensive and like clammy around it. I don't want to talk to people I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know what it is, but I just find it's not the way things were meant to be. The other thing that I really hate are pitch slaps. I don't know if you get them in your LinkedIn inbox. I'm sure I get about 100 a day. I get a new connection request, and literally 20 seconds later, there is a boom, an explosion of text and links, and jump on a quick Zoom call. Would Tuesday at 5 or Thursday at 10 suit you better? And here's my Calendly link. I mean, and I have a absolutely universal salute for that. And it goes like this. I mean, because it's just, I don't think business is done that way. And I don't think anybody should do it. For any of you that saw my article this morning, I literally actually just did that live. I'll show it to you right away. And this is an article that I keep for people who pitch slap me. So Laura Louise, you're my spotter today. Please let me know if you can see this. Okay.
Yes, I don't think you can hear me. Can you?
Yes, I can. Yep.
Oh,
yep.
okay.
I can hear you loud and clear. Okay. I'm just loading my chat up. So essentially, you know, this is how you got to think of LinkedIn. There are 3 kinds of people, okay? There's the scrolling lurkers, okay? These are literally the people that just keep scrolling. One of you is actually in this room. I eventually called you out and said, hey, listen, get your ass over here. You know what I mean? And they're the people that go, yeah. I read all your stuff. It's excellent. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you've been doing that for 3 years and you never once said hello. You never once said, oh, wow, that really helped me. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, so you know who those guys are. And then these are the pitch slappers, okay? These are the guys that I'm talking about. These are the people that literally just use LinkedIn all wrong, and they destroy it for the rest of us, okay? And being pitch slapped literally feels like being kimchi slapped. I don't know if that's ever happened to you. I hope not, but you know, this is not cool. And then there are the people that are going to leave this room, okay, on Saturday with having a strategy, knowing how to create valuable content, engaging with your own content, engaging with other people's content, but using all of that into a system to really go forward and attract your ideal client, okay? And that is why I have a formula, and I have this as a reminder on my dashboard, because it's so easy to go in there and try and sell and try and promote and try and sell instead of getting the strategy right. So I think the screen sharing works. By the way, for those of you that are on a single screen, when I share my screen, in the top right-hand button, you can choose the size of the LinkedIn profile. Laura Louise, if you can, I don't know, maybe I'll just spotlight me on this here. But you can choose the screen sharing size based on how much of my window you want to see and how much of me you want to see, because I'm going to be jumping in and out of different screens all day long. And the overview, I think, is done. Did I forget anything, Laura Louise? Actually, no, Laura Louise. Hey, I love Chris Casavuri's meme. I always wanted to do meme wars, but I really love that. I'm a big fan of memes with engagement. I think that's awesome. And here's another nice note. The landscapers have just arrived with their chainsaws and mowers and blowers. So
couldn't be more perfect.
Yeah, perfect. That's wonderful. Normally we have 3 big dogs, and normally the doorbell rings right as you're getting started and the dogs go crazy. So,
and my mouse still doesn't work between 3 screens. Yay.
I'll come and check it up for you. So let's get back to LinkedIn and the big strategy, right? Because the combination of content that people will react to is the thing that they want to see in their feed. So if you think of your feed, when you go down the feed and you're looking at interesting stuff, or you're like kind of late at night, or you're at a doctor's office, or you're somewhere, you're like scrolling through the LinkedIn feed. Well, hang on, it should be interesting, right? It should be educational in some ways. It should be entertaining at the very least, but it should get you to take action. The problem here is with LinkedIn is we don't control the algorithm, okay? Some of us, I mean, Frank and I, for example, we've made a real study of it, and at times we get it really right. And at times I have posts that generate millions of views and thousands and thousands of engagements. And then other days I create a wonderful post and it literally just dies out on the vine and dies of loneliness, right? And we are not in control of the algorithm, because you've got to realize there are 3 kinds of customers on LinkedIn that you need to sell to, or that you need to promote to, or who you are writing for, right? So number 1 is your first connections. So they're the people that you are already connected with, right? Number 2 are their connections. So that's your second connections. And this might seem very obvious, but you'll see where I'm going with it in a second. And the third client is the algorithm itself, because you can create this beautiful content, but if LinkedIn and their rules don't pick it up and show it to anybody else, then you've just wasted all of this energy. And the whole thing is very much about consistency, because you will find that 98% of people on LinkedIn, 98% of LinkedIn users do absolutely nothing. They are the scrollers. I mean, they might occasionally post a little thing, or they might occasionally like a post, or they might occasionally write on somebody else's post, nice post. Just an FYI here, but anything less than 5 words does not actually even trigger the algorithm, right? And because the consistency is not there, the LinkedIn algorithm ignores you. But you've also trained your audience to ignore you. It's a little bit like, think of actually just think of me in the last week, okay? Probably annoying, but when somebody is doing nothing all day long but talking about their own stuff, okay, that gets boring and that gets old really quickly. So there are some people who are just constantly talking shop, and you just go, And you see, if you ignore their post, the LinkedIn algorithm learns that, and then very quickly you don't see it anymore. And then up until I'd say about November, LinkedIn was doing really great, and then they made algorithm changes. And right now, when I look at my feed, I don't see any of you, okay? I don't even see Laura Louise's posts. I don't see Frank's posts. I don't see Margaret's posts. I never see Bob's posts because he doesn't really post. I don't see Jory's. I don't see Rob. I don't see Philip's posts. I mean, I just see absolutely nothing that I actually want to see. All I'm seeing at the moment is like sponsored content and like the LinkedIn influencers with the carousels saying, how to go viral on LinkedIn. I don't want to go viral on LinkedIn. I just want to attract my tribe. So for me, luckily, you guys are all here, like if I can get Matthew to stop what he's doing, get out of the car and actually log on to the computer, that is wonderful. And I did that. Sorry, Matthew, to call you out, but I did that in the chat the other day because Matthew always responds to my stuff. And then I'm like, hey, if you're responding, why don't you come to my event, right? And I picked up the phone and I called him, as you would do in an old school way, and go, hey, Matthew, come on, get your ass over here, right? And he's like, oh, I can't, I got this and I this. I'm like, stop making excuses, come, right? It's like old school, right? So the more you think of LinkedIn as old school, the better it will work. But you've got to use new school techniques, because our business, I don't know if you guys are probably the same. You're going to always do business with people that you know, people that you like, and people that you trust. I don't buy stuff from anybody I don't know. I'm just not interested, right? So why spend all this energy on LinkedIn to go and create all this content that doesn't convert, that doesn't attract your tribe? If a little bit about like the ocean, if you know that you're a dolphin and you want to swim with other dolphins, why would you create content that attracts sharks? Because you don't like them and they're not your kind of people. So, obviously coming from Wall Street, I have spent a lot of time swimming in pools with sharks, right? But I'm here, I'm doing this because I absolutely love doing this, and this is my gig, right? So let's get down into a 50,000 foot overview of, I think, how a good LinkedIn funnel works. Okay, give me 2 seconds quickly here. I will drop that, and hopefully you can see that, and hopefully all the technology is working this morning. So you should be able to read on your screen the word crushing it. that meme of Chris Casaburi's is just phenomenal. It's just so distracting me. I'm gonna have to hide you, Chris, sorry. Okay, so let's do a real quick big picture overview. And those of you who have worked with me have seen this diagram 100,000 times. When I design and create funnels for my clients, I tend to divide them into 3 categories. Even though sometimes there are 10 steps in here, I really create top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel, or let's call that VIP, okay? So I'm going to be using this terminology throughout the next few days because LinkedIn is right at the top here. This is where I believe you should create a couple of pieces of key strategic content. Think of it a little bit like a walk through a beautiful Japanese garden, okay? For those of you who've been to Japan, they're a journey. It is a storybook, those gardens. You're meant to walk in a certain direction, and the path starts off in the way. So you think you're walking aimlessly through the garden, but it's very, very strategic because you're walking across this little bridge, and then you see this beautiful flower and these beautiful plants and these beautiful combinations. Then you go over the little wooden bridge with the waterfall. It is a very strategic content that you are meant to see in the order, not backwards, not randomly. You're meant to see the order. And this is what I call your garden of strategic content. That is then interlaced, I'm doing this one in green, with what seem like random spontaneous posts in there. Let's do a quick example. If I just post all day long, let's say I'm a commercial real estate investor, and I'm trying to get other people and raise money. And if I just post all day long about commercial real estate, all day long, every day there's a commercial real estate post, basically you're just going to zone me out, because most investors, oh, I don't have a hat here. I've got no props. Boy, I'm snoozing. Most investors do not wear a hat that has a label on the front that says commercial real estate investor. Most investors also don't have a hat that walk around saying, I invest in venture capital, stupid ideas that my friends come up. I mean, they don't label themselves as investors. And if you are on the institutional side, right? Hey, thanks, Bob. I appreciate that. If you are on the institutional side, and you're raising capital from family offices and pension funds and those kind of animals, well, those guys have identified themselves as a particular investor. The problem is everybody's trying to sell to those guys, and that's not where you, and they have specific rules. That's a whole different game. I'm talking about getting people to stop scrolling and come and jump into your feed and come and engage with you. Okay, so that's why I have these green dots on the screen, which are the spontaneous personal posts, because that's a way that, like, you know, Kate O'Hara and I, we connected like that. You know, she's like in my feed and she connects and she writes something nice, and I'm like, you know what, I really want to meet that person. And that's all, job done. Now it's up to you to take it next. So that is where we enter the middle of the funnel. And over here, I like to create at least 3 football fields of influence. And I go through a lot of, I just did it again. I have trained extensively people in our Magnum Accelerator program and in the boot camp on this, but I'll go through this over the coming days in a light version, because that's a very, very heavy lift. This is where you're not selling anything to anybody. You're saying, like, for example, like, I'm just gonna pick Chris Casaburi, for example, right? So Chris has engaged with my content, and he's seen something that's interesting, and we've started chatting, and we're in the comments together. And there was this little invitation to this Crushing It on LinkedIn event, and Chris hit the link and came to my event. Okay, so for those of you guys that are here for the first time, right, and the first time in my event, I don't mind telling you guys where you are. You are right here. You are right here. On my evil plan. You know what I mean? Because this is a way I bring you into my universe where I can show you the stuff I'm good at, where I can help you, I can add value to you. And right at the end, by the way, I am going to, and I'm going to do it because I'm proud of it. I'm going to invite you guys to go deeper with us. But that's okay. That's just an invitation. Yeah, I mean, it's not some pitch slap offer, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, hey man, if you guys want to come to our next boot camp, Laura Louise, when is it? I keep screwing up the dates. 23rd, 22nd of March, 23rd of March, right? I think. Yeah.
I think we were thinking of moving it 2 days. So I'm
no,
gonna
that's
get back to you at the end.
That's the challenge. We'll get back to you. But the idea is that I can invite you to my next boot camp, because that is over there in the middle of the funnel. Do you see what I'm doing? Constantly, all the time, I'm like, hey man, like I've connected with Mike Keller on LinkedIn so many times, and I'm like, hey man, Mike, come to my event. Come to my event. Come to my event.
On the 23rd, 24th, 25th of March.
Yep, there we go. So he's going to go, okay, that was interesting. That LinkedIn event he did was great. Let me go to his boot camp. You see what I mean? You see how this works? It's a little bit like meeting somebody in a bar. And then Laura Louise and I, we have these magnum.cafe spontaneous meetings where I'll show you sometimes just how to stop doing the whole, here's my Calendly link thing, because it's offensive to 70% of the people. Yeah, I mean, it's like, my time is more important than your time. And so therefore, here we go, help yourself to my calendar, book yourself in there. It's rude, it's obnoxious. You wouldn't do it in real life. Yeah, I mean, or sometimes it's about, well, I'll do a quick training about elevator pitches versus escalator pitches. Like, have you ever bought anything from anybody in an elevator? That's friggin' weird, man. Why would you do that? It's just, nah, right? So,
all right.
Yeah.
I think the point about the Calendly link is so important, because so many people think, oh, this is efficient, it's effective, it'll get people in, whatever. But people get it and they go, but why would I want to go and book something into this person's calendar that I don't even know? And totally. I think so many people miss this point, because it's such a poignant, issue, where anybody who's sent me that, I'm like, I don't even know you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people think, oh, I'm going to set up this calendar. They take time to set this thing up so it works and make sure that it works. But at the end of the day, people are kind of irritated by it because they have no rapport, they have no relationship, they haven't actually had any jargon going back and forth, and all of a sudden you're like shoved into some program so that you might get a spot on their preferred place on their Calendly link.
Yeah.
And I just want to hit that home because people get this so wrong. I have never, ever, ever in my life signed up to be on someone's Calendly link. If I'm not talking to somebody or directly communicating in some way, there's no way I want to have a meeting with them just because they happen to have a facility that gets me into their Calendly link. And it's like people sell this stuff, and it's like, I think it hurts your business.
Yeah. So let me answer Sean's question there. So Sean, you could, if you have a simple business model, right? It literally could be a 1, 2, 3 step thing. Yeah, I mean, where instead of going to somebody and pitch slapping, just visualize that kimchi pitch slap. Anytime you're dropping people all this crap in their stuff, or you're prematurely trying to go to 4th base instead of going on a first date. I recently only found out, by the way, that these are baseball terms. So don't take dating advice from me. So the idea, Sean, is that unless you've warmed somebody up with your content and have invited them and created a call to action that is not, here, come buy my stuff, you know what I mean? That is a simple call to action, then you have no place sending them a Calendly link. Because what also happens is what I went through in the last 2 years, we've made it so easy for other people's shit to get on calendars. And now we're ignoring the stuff that's actually important to us. And we're having meetings with all these people, 90% of which don't matter or materialize. So I took that book a coffee meeting off my LinkedIn, I took it off because you need to go a little deeper first. And people need to at least see, I like that style, see how good you are, how you help people. They need to see your heart a little bit. They need to get some social proof before you're gonna send them, invite them to your fire pit. It would be like walking around at the mall, and going, hey, Chris, hey, Robert, hi, Matthew, hi, come to my dinner party, It would be weird. Everybody would go, yeah, even if you're absolutely hungry, you still wouldn't accept some random person's dinner party invite because it's like weird. They make movies about people like that, you know what I mean? So, yes, Laura Louise, absolutely right. I think it's really nice that Guy Cooper is in the house. Guy Cooper, by the way, I got to tell you, helped me with all this stuff. So the camera over here is thanks to Guy. He made me buy this camera. Then he helped me with the lights because I had these lights facing directly at me, and he's like, hey man, those things should be 45 degrees pointing up at the roof. And he really, really helped me. So I wanted to be express my gratitude for that. Back on point. So you want to invite people to your fire pit, whatever that fire pit looks like to you, okay? And then once you've actually had a discussion over a nice glass of bourbon or a nice glass of wine, which right now Laura Louise and I are not having because we joined the 75 hard challenge. And we are on today, day 31 of the 75 hard channel.
Yes, drinking
challenge.
green juice.
Very interesting. If you stop drinking, you realize what a bunch of idiots your friends are, by the way. Anyway, so that funnel has to be something natural that happens naturally. Now you can actually go and build it on LinkedIn. So let's get back to my little Picasso drawing, okay? And go in and build this thing. I'm one of those people that literally has an inability to explain something unless they're scribbling.
Anrik, I actually think you could be one of those artists that's discovered where they pay like millions of dollars for your little
my scribbles, yeah,
your dots. Yeah,
I have had people offer me money for my handwritten notes. I'm going to stick them in a book soon. But anyway, so the strategy that I want to design with you, and we're going to get much deeper into this after we've done some of the intermediate steps, towards the end of this challenge. These little red arrows that you see here are call to actions that now I've scribbled all over this thing that literally invite you to the next step and that invite you to the next step. And the call to action of step number 3 is to say, okay, you look like you're a good fit. Come in here, into my VIP funnel where there are 3 steps where I'm now going to interview you to see whether you are my kind of client, whether I can actually help you, whether you have a problem that fits into my superpower. And nowhere in this process is there any selling, because when you really drill deep into an authentic engagement machine, you create content that attracts your ideal client, but also rejects your wrong fit client, have authentic engagement with them, then you come further down the line where it's like a natural conversation, and it allows you to step into your zone of genius and confidently serve hard so you can sell easy. There's really no selling when you're just connecting the dots. Okay, so who's up for it? Give me a raise of hands in the chat or whatever, if you guys want to build this thing, because I want to make sure you guys are in the right room and you guys are happy to it. Yeah, I mean? So I got to check with Douglas, check in with Douglas. Douglas says yes. Okay, he's in. Okay, I know Joe is in. He's just driving, so he's got to keep his hands off the screen. So let me show you a little bit of content that works, and I'm going to be jumping in and out here a little bit. So I don't know, take a screenshot if you like, or just draw your own funnel with those 3 boxes. So when I'm talking about the 3 dots, okay, let me see, I could actually put that up as my background, but that's just me getting distracted. The personal content that I'm talking about, that some people might think is off-brand, is actually, in fact, quite on-brand. And you will see one of those here. So if you know me, you've seen this video, because I've posted this same video about 3 times. All my Zoom windows have now suddenly disappeared again. This is just beautiful how this platform does this stuff. Every time I hit share, all these windows move away. Okay.
Well, if it was me, we have to shut down the whole thing. So I'm glad it's happening to you.
Okay, so here you'll see, like this video, I will post this about 2 or 3 times a year. Okay, and it is a spectacular video that moves me to the bone every single time I watch it, and I've watched it 100 times. Okay, because it's a young man that has multiple sclerosis, and he loves football. He's an absolute football fanatic, and the team allowed him to come and play, and they wanted him to run a touchdown, and the opposing team got into it, and everybody rallied behind this kid, right? And that is my enjoyment. So I have this actually in a little box of, whenever I'm feeling miserable, I have like 6 videos. This is one of them. I watch that video and I come right back out of that video and I'm like, I'm ready to serve. I'm ready to help my people. Somebody annoys me on LinkedIn or criticizes me, like Leo's, I'm a Leo, we don't like criticism at all. Okay. And it can derail you. I watch a video like that, it inspires me. I want to be a better human being. I want to get out. So you will see that. So do a whole bunch of other people. Every time I post this, there are millions of views, thousands of comments, 7,000 people reposting this. Now, keep in mind, I'm not a LinkedIn influencer. I have no interest in having 100,000 followers and all that stuff. I've been there, done that. I got to 34,000 followers once until I realized this is absolutely dumb. I don't know any of these people, and I started from scratch, right? So I'm on the small, high quality LinkedIn network type of mode. There are some people who want millions of followers. That's not me. But look at the statistics that you can get, the views of people that mostly that I don't know, right? And then you will immediately see some of my advanced engagement techniques in practice here. Right here at the top of it, I will take you to something else that you can see. If that was a post about invest in my fund, for example, the whole thing would feel weird. You see what I mean? So I'm literally, I know this is a little Facebooky, okay? Like now we got cat videos and dog videos and stuff, but I'm literally segueing you from somewhere to somewhere else. But you see, here's the interesting thing that happens in LinkedIn. And that's why today we're going to start off with your profile. I write something. Some people see this. Thousands of people have seen this. And they will look at my tagline on the top. Transforming frustrated entrepreneurs to break through the stagnate. There's enough there to bite. There's enough appeal for me to go and click on it and go and look at that guy's profile, right? So a guy who's got, this is one of the best, sorry, I'm writing in all caps here, it doesn't, Jagodzinski, Scott Jagodzinski has one of the best taglines ever, okay? Scott Jagodzinski, making men over 50 harder to kill. And I'm like, I'm going to click on that. Like you would have to have 10 horses to prevent me from clicking that. So obviously I'm going to click on that. So, and admittedly, Scott sends his apologies, by the way. He really couldn't make it today. He's doing something very, very important. But immediately I see his banner picture, making men over 50 harder to kill. Actionable and sustainable process to reverse age, torch fat, get strong, and shift your identity. So I wouldn't give him 100 out of 100 for that, but it's very clear who he's attracting. He's calling out his target audience in his headline, and he's immediately trying to get you go further. Now, let's see if he followed my advice. Yep. Okay, there we go. And literally right here, he has a post that is dropping you into the funnel. Okay, if you guys can see this in action of how this might work if you're over 50, where I literally sent him that meme, and he's like, okay, do you know what is making men over 50 harder to kill? Now you're in. Now you're in the loop. Now we're going down the rabbit hole. Now there is a post. It's not some go to my website. Nobody goes to people's websites anymore. And they don't do it. You've got to engage people with your content, and you're like, stop running out the clock and come and join us. You see what I mean? So that is the invitation to go deeper. So that's what I mean about those little green dots. The little green dots in the, I'll share it again just to, I know Sean has seen this 100 times. So I'm always assuming that everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. But that little funnel, you can literally draw out for yourself right now, where you go, okay, top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. At the top here, I want to create a couple of pieces of key strategic content. And over here, I call this the escape hatch. Like in the movie, the Matrix, follow the white rabbit. Yeah. You want to give people and lead them on a little journey, take them where you want them to go. If you are not greasing the slide, I used to use a firefighter reference, and saw it like greasing the pole, but I got a couple of hate mails after an event when I kept talking about a lubricated pole, and it just got very weird. But you know what I mean?
You are
like those,
absolutely very weird, Henrik.
yes,
It's continuing to be weird, just so you know.
I know, I'm in it. I have that ability when I'm in a hole, I just keep digging and I just keep going, even though I know it's going to hurt. But so now I feel I have to explain it. But, you know, like I know a lot of firefighters, and imagine if you took some like motor oil and you put it onto the pole that they go down with, how quickly they would go down. And that's what you want to try and do. You want to provide a slide, as where people are sliding where they want to go, and you want them to go, instead of this brick wall that stops where you now have to take action. Because have you actually ever tried to go and find somebody's content on LinkedIn? It's friggin' hard. You've got to click on the profile, then you've got to go click on their posts, view latest post, then you've got to choose. It's 12 different steps. Nobody's doing it. Trust me, nobody, unless they're stalking you and they're trying to rip off your content and take your content and publish it as their own. Nobody's doing that. So you have to provide them that journey, and that journey is getting them into the middle of your funnel. So that's where I draw these guys, because one of these is then going to invite people to your VIP funnel. Okay, so that's the big picture overview. And obviously we can make this as complicated as you want to. We have built 10-step funnels, but this, if you just want to do LinkedIn, this is a simple way. Yes, honey.
I think your point about the fact that once you've created a post or created some information on LinkedIn, if you've ever tried to actually get to exactly something specific that you want to find, it is a very difficult thing to get to a certain post or even get back to your own post. So you've got to keep that in mind when you're on LinkedIn. But if you're not putting information out there, if you're not attracting people to ring the bell, and inviting them to be a part of your journey, and your journey is something that they can actually revisit with daily, the chances of them coming to look at your profile, to look at your previous posts and things, unless they're in your funnel and they're really interested, then they might go back and look at your old post and figure out how to do it because they have a desire. But without any kind of stimulant, they're never going there. And it's very difficult to get there. It's my one big complaint about LinkedIn. So you got to remember that if you're going to go in and LinkedIn is your place where your tribe is, you've got to figure out how to get those eyeballs onto you on a very consistent basis, because that congruency of your message, of your, attraction, of the things that your right fit client might like to see. And remember, that's so important. It's not what you want to sell. It's what your right fit client wants to see. Has to be there consistently. Never think, oh, I have my, I look at people's all the time and I'll go and I'll be like, yeah, they have a resume on there. That's not what it's made for. And, it's not going to get you anything. If you do like one post a week, you're probably not going to get very far with it.
Yeah. And so, as Laura Louise says, even if you have managed to attract your tribe, and we're going to I'm just going to watch the time. We're going to get deep into that in a second. There is something that happens that most entrepreneurs trip up on. Okay. And I had a brief round. I didn't look at all of your profiles, but I looked really at certainly more than half of you that sent me the link, is that you have to give people the place that you want to take them to. Okay, so this is one of my favorite clips that I play during my boot camp all the time too. I know, Sylvain, you've seen it, right?
Hey, Flaps,
remember the Jungle Book?
What we're gonna do?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
I've got it. Let's flap over the east side of the jungle. They've always got a bit of action, a bit of a swinging scene, all right?
Ah, come off it. Things are right and dead all over.
You mean you wish they were?
Very funny.
Okay, so what we're gonna do?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
Look, Flaps, first I say what we're gonna do. Then you say, I don't know, what do you want to do? Then I say what we're gonna do. You say what you want to do. What we're gonna do, what you want. Let's do something.
Okay. What do you want to do?
Oh, blimey. There you go again. The same notes again.
I've got it. This time I've really got it.
So you...
Anyway, I won't torture you any longer. The point behind that is, even if you have attracted your tribe, now what you're going to do, because they are waiting for guidance from you. It's a little bit like if you're a capital raiser and you raise money from institutions, or you raise money from you're in the VC game and you're trying to raise money, or you're a real estate guy and you're trying to raise capital to leverage. Everybody's basically going to go, okay, yeah, that was a great meeting. Hey, Louis, excellent, merci, très gentil, à bientôt. And now what? The amount of energy that it takes to pick it up again, to not only get hold of that guy, reschedule another meeting, follow up, go. This is where the money is lost. 99% of the sales of the money that you raise is lost in that follow-up, because we are like those guys, those vultures sitting on the branch going, I don't know. Yeah, that was great. What do you want to do? I don't know. That was great. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? For God's sake, do something. You see what I mean? So you got to pass the And that's what I mean by the greased slide. Take people down the slide where you know you can serve them harder, you can serve them better, you can give them what they want, because people will always come to you and will try and buy what they want. And then you've got to try and serve them with what they actually need. But we get, you know, that's boot camp material. Wow, I've got Laura Louise on my screen here in 60 inches. Wow, how did that happen? Boy, the technology is just playing all sorts of fun with me today. But anyway, she's gorgeous, so I'm not complaining. So let's go back to some content that actually works. So hit my screen share again. And voila, let's go. So here you will see a next piece of content. Louise, make sure we can see that, right?
Yeah,
This is my regular rant against the Kylie Jenners of this world, and how the fact that we as business people, I'm sure you guys can feel the pain. You know, she launches a new lipstick, Apple launches a new iPhone, and the lines are for, you know, 3 days long, people in their tents sleeping around the corner. But you launch a fund, you launch a company, you launch a product, and you post about it. Crickets. You might as well be dead. So why are we as humans so inclined to follow and support all these influencers, and we don't come around the corner and support our people, our you know, Margaret Maisel, you know, Kim Wells, for example, right? That's who I'm talking about. This wonderful Minnesota farmer, and she produces this fantastic, you know, homegrown produce. We should be supporting our friends first. So this is a rant that every time I post it, let's see how many views this one got. 800,000 views, right? So this might seem like a random post, but this is me being on point, because through this I'm attracting my ideal audience. Because then you see, now I'm in the comments down here. Hopefully today's post is a little more practical. So here I've got advanced engagement, where I'm leading you into, sometimes Laura Louise gets very nervous when I click on things, because she's like, oh God, what's he doing again? You know what I mean? So this is my hot 50 list. So here I have a video talking about my hot 50 list, right? So now I'm segueing you deeper and deeper into my content. Then the day after that, or a few days later, I will do a carousel. This was for my LinkedIn program, by the way, which I'm not here to sell you at all. Don't get your alarm bells up. I'm actually going to gift it to one of you on Saturday that has been here for all 5 days playing full out. I'm going to gift you my LinkedIn program. But this is literally a carousel where 116,000 people saw the content of my LinkedIn program. Now, this is not something that I really do for money. This is a lead magnet for me, where people can spend a little bit of money to go deeper and learn skills, so that they can go, hey, that Amrit guy, I really should talk to him about my strategy. Because remember, the upsell all the way at the end of my funnel is a VIP coaching, where literally we will coach you for 3 months, a minimum of 3 months in a row, and it's $25,000 per month, right? So just think about the mathematics of this. Nobody's going to click on and buy that ever from a LinkedIn post, but they might have seen 20, 30, 40, 50 videos. They might have come to an event. They have gone to the next event, and they're like, you know what? These guys are amazing. I need to get these guys to come in and help me. And oh, by the way, I've got this company, I've got that company, I've got that company. All of these people, they need their help. Let's get Laura Louise in there. Let's get Anrik in there. Do you see how the funnel makes that happen? Because I have done the work to find out who my ideal client is. Now I've got to build a system that allows me to serve them. So that's what I'm urging you guys to build. And you can literally build it by Saturday. You can be done with it, right? So then this is where I get into trouble. I am a room divider. Okay, I don't know, maybe it's attention needy or something like that, but people annoy me. I either love people or they annoy me. So here is a little self-help book that I send to people when they post these big bleeding heart stories of how they used to be a drug dealer and a prostitute and all this kind of stuff, I can't stand it. I'm like, okay, I'm a big fan of the backstory, but don't make it your entire story. So then I send them a little book. Here's what everyone around the world is thinking about you, but is way too chicken shit to say to your face. You are unsuccessful and unhappy because your attitude sucks. You're always negative. Nobody wants to help you or do business with you or be your friend because you're an asshole, always complaining about something or blaming others, then never coming up with a plan to remedy any of your issues. Go make some friggin' changes to your life, starting with your attitude, and now go and try new things. But please shut up about your problems because nobody cares. Seriously, the end. The world's shortest self-help book. So this is me dividing the room. You know what I mean? So Laura Louise is much sweeter and nicer. So if I offend you, talk to Laura Louise. You know what I mean? But it's kind of my style because I love people that make decisions. I love people that are not afraid to look through our imperfections because we're all human, right? And go a little deeper and are prepared to see my genius and my brilliance, even though I'm a bit of an idiot and I can be really snappy and annoying at times, right? So then I will segue into a humorous post, okay? Now this post is a phenomenal post because guess what? I do a lot of virtual live events. So here is a very funny.
How are you doing?
Oh, good. Yeah. Just making it,
9-digit number.
Try pressing the pound key.
This is basically if Zoom was done in real life, all these things. Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me? People dropping off. So 60,000 impressions. So you might not think that that is a viral post, but this is now seen by people. You can get to this post from the comments of other posts, right? And that then divides you and constantly brings you further and deeper into my evil enterprise, right? Because, here I am. Here's the next one. The next post. So you keep growing and you keep growing into it. And then occasionally there will be a funny like mea culpa. This is probably one of my favorite posts, where I will pretend like, oh, I wake up at 4:55 each morning since joining the 5 a.m. club. I drink 2 cups of lemon water whilst reading the Bible, upload my clever LinkedIn content, do a Duolingo lesson, read for 20 minutes, take a 3-mile walk, shower with steam, take all my supplements, listen to a podcast before my workday starts. I have 4 to 5. Anyway, so I'm going on and people can only see the top half and they're going, oh God, look at this poser, look at this pretender. And then they go, okay, who the hell am I kidding? It's more like this. Most days I wake up exhausted at 7 a.m. Scramble to limp to the bathroom, getting old ain't for sissies. Barely get my teeth brushed because dogs need to go out. Romeo runs off after a squirrel. Giuseppe steps in his own poop. I run after Romeo, lose my kikoi, which is a Kenyan sarong, by the way, which I walk out to. The neighbors see me naked. She's old, by the way. Worried that I might have to call 911, make good coffee, wing my content. So this is the real me. So you see, this is strategic content that is placed in between. This is one of those green dots, because what happens when I'm just posting, I'll show you real quickly. If you just look at the awful posts that I have created in the last week, okay, you see how hard it is to actually find people's posts. It's just really painful. You've got to click in 12 different places, right? So here is me basically. Come to my event, come to my event, come to my event, come to my event, come to my event. Here's me in my bathrobe saying, hey, come to my event. Here's the kimchi slap. But it's all about this event. You see what I mean? It gets a little boring, right? So I'm obviously pushing stuff and I'm experimenting with stuff because I want to teach you the things that work and that don't work tomorrow. But it's all really stuff, okay? So that is why I thank you for the
define
note,
stuff, Henrik.
Well, it's all work related stuff, and it gets dull and it gets boring. And if I just did that the whole time, creating these posts that are about my business, that are about my thing, people basically zone me out. As soon as they zone me out, as soon as they stop clicking on my things and engaging, the LinkedIn algorithm goes, I get it. Margaret does not want to hear about the Crushing It event anymore. So any people that look like Margaret, let's not send them Unric's LinkedIn event. You see what I mean? So that's really how the whole thing works. You know what I mean? And then obviously you can get into polls. Last year, polls was the big thing on LinkedIn. And because most people do stupid polls, they're just like dumb polls. You know, do you like chunky peanut butter or creamy, right? What you want to do is have your poll should have a call to action. It should go somewhere. You see what I mean? There should be a purpose to the whole thing. But then you can also constantly bring people back into your branded issues. So authenticity is a major theme that I talk about, because unless you are absolutely authentic in your delivery, unless you are authentic in your I don't know if you could actually see my screen the whole time, Laura Louise. Could you see the screen the whole time? Oh, okay,
Yes.
good. I sometimes forget to hit the share screen button. So the authenticity is the really big thing, because I want to steal something from our boot camp real quickly and give you some really food for thought before we commence tomorrow, because this is really the most important work that you can do. Because if you don't know who your ideal client is, okay, and if you don't know who it is that you're trying to attract, Sean, I think you know what's coming next, right? And I always start this exercise, and we do this. I know people have to drop off and leave, Laura Louise, I know, but I just want to quickly cover this before we leave and reconvene tomorrow. If you don't know who you are, how do you attract your ideal client? Because then you don't know who they are. So that's why I call this the who to. And then go into why they are your ideal client and why you are the perfect solution for them. That will later, and I'm going to go through this in greater detail over the next few days, that will allow you to really start creating posts in the middle of your funnel of how you help people just like these guys solve their problem. And right down here is what you do. Because, and I'll just tell this to you absolutely straight, especially for people who are in the business of raising and attracting capital, nobody gives a shit about your what. They don't care. They really don't care.
It's the number one thing people try to show you instantly. I mean, every day I get 10, 15 people DMing me with their what. And I'm like, what aren't you understanding? I have no idea who you are. I don't know who your right fit client is. I don't know why you're doing it. I don't know your story. We have no rapport.
Nothing.
You're
We've
just
got no connection.
bothering me. Yeah.
So,
and they think we're going to do business with them. It's insanity. And people do it every single day, more often than not.
So if you want to do LinkedIn, for example, you just keep it above this red line. You keep your posts up here. Because there is this wonderful little dance that I know we go into, significant depth in our boot camps, is this dance between your who and your why, and who your ideal client is and why they are your ideal client, and who you are and why you are the person to serve them. You see what I mean? So if you do nothing else on LinkedIn, but talk about your who and your why, and then intersect that with those green strategic little things that might seem humorous, that might seem spontaneous. What you're doing, by the way, is, I don't know if there's any golfers in the room, but you're basically teeing up the ball for the person to come and hit. Because if you've had 5 business posts in a row and they've all been very serious, and now suddenly there's this post about one of your passions, you know what I mean? Or like in Bob's case, there is a post about the 5 greatest Vikings that have ever lived, and he's there with his Viking hat, and he doesn't put his Viking hat on Zoom calls with me anymore because I screenshot that so quickly and make that into my background. So Bob has learned. So that strategic content is basically teeing up the ball. So people have seen this interesting stuff and they're interested, but now you've given them an excuse. For me, it's cars or dogs, right? So I'm a car guy. Laura Louise is a car girl. And then you have something about cars. And then suddenly at night, 40, 50 comments of your ideal clients, you've finally given them an excuse. You finally stop talking, which I'm going to do in a second and go to Q&A, where you've now teed up the ball so they can actually come and hit the ball, right? And this is the genius of LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is a wonderful platform because you can create this content. You can create articles. I'll show you those, I think on Thursday, how to create articles, which are actually mini landing pages. So people don't even need to leave LinkedIn in order to go and look at your landing page. And from there, and by the way, LinkedIn sends out your articles to all the people that are following it, right? So it's a mailing list. Then there's a DM list in there. You can add videos, you can add Vidyard plugin, you can do voice messages and literally draw people deeper into
I think you're going to go into all this tomorrow, because I think you're like now drinking from a fire hose.
Oh, totally. Yeah. No, totally. I mean, obviously, I really want to convince you guys to come back for all 5 days in a row. And, you know, as we go deeper into that, I am going to, oh, look at that. That's so sweet, Chris. I am very happy to unmute anyone who has a direct question, to answer Q&As and go a little bit deeper. I have scheduled till 11:30 in terms of timing. So you are most welcome. Stick your hand up and I will unmute you and we will get right into any LinkedIn challenge that you have. If I can solve it, I will gladly solve it for you. So please either raise your hand physically or digitally. Okay, I love it. Sylvain is first. He's never afraid. Sylvain, bonjour.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Thank you for coming today, by the way. I really appreciate it. And I loved having you in our boot camp. And we left Sylvain and one of the other attendees in the Bar American one night, and they closed it up.
Honor, can you stop sharing your screen so we can see people, please?
Oh, thank you. Sorry, man. There's too many screens here for me to.
Yeah, that was a fun night. That was really fun. It's just amazing what you can create virtually if you create the right environments. And you put people in Bar American, which is a beautiful bar in Monte Carlo, and we all just had our, you know, our kind of lounge personalities on, and we were all having cocktails, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, Lorraine is here. Oh, great. Sorry, Lorraine, I couldn't see you. You were hidden behind some of the.
Oh yeah, there she is. Hi, Lorraine.
I opened a few Zoom rooms and yes, sorry. So Sylvain, question, sir.
You see this?
Yes.
You know, your middle funnel here.
All right, let me spotlight you here. There we go. Let's make that bigger. Oh yeah, there we go. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me more about those lines here, the two lines that you put everywhere?
Yes. That is an actual training that I intend to do probably by Thursday, Friday, because I would say it's about a 20-minute start to finish journey. But the basic idea of it in 2 minutes is like a football game, right? You start from 0 and you want to go to 100 yards. You've got to, in every strategic component of whether in the middle of your funnel, whether that is a webinar, just please don't call it a webinar because immediately people think that it doesn't have any value, but like your executive strategy session or something like that, right? Or if it's a video or it's a speech or whatever, you want to create certain strategic steps that in the beginning get people nodding their heads and connecting with you and then going, oh yeah, more I see, yeah. You know, you want people raising their hands basically, right? And then go deeper. So I will, please don't let me forget, you know, I mean, this is pretty unscripted, this whole thing. So I think by Friday, once we've created the top of the funnel and the content, I will take out 20 minutes to really explain that concept because it works so well, because you don't want to get too hard, too fast. I even see that with people that I know. They will send me a link to book a calendar or to invest in their thing. And it's like it's too early, it's too soon. I haven't bought into it yet. So I will show you that, Sylvain. Let's just pick Friday. I'll do that on Friday, okay? And as long as you bring drinks, we should all be good, Okay, and now I've got to get this pronunciation right.
Shalini?
Shalini.
Is that correct?
All right, let me unmute you. We're playing Mute Wars. I'm unmuting you and you're unmuting you. Wonderful to meet you. Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you. And the session is absolutely fantastic. I'm enjoying it. Sorry, I joined in a bit late. And you got the pronunciation right as well.
And then the last name is Menezes, right? Menezes.
Menezes, yeah.
Yeah, nice, wonderful. Where are you from?
India,
Mm.
Goa.
Okay.
Okay. So I am a patent attorney and I have launched, I'm also into finance, valuation of patents. And I've launched a platform for valuation and monetization of patents. My question is, how do I draw the right people? Some of them are not they are not active on social media. And I'm targeting a particular buyer profile. But my problem is patents. I say patents and people fall asleep. So how do I draw them in?
Well, I think, very, very quickly, the issue is obviously around a very, very clear, crystal clear definition of who your ideal client is, right?
Yes.
Then the next question is, where do they hang out? That you'll have to answer, right? So I always draw this up, and I'll give you a real quick cheat sheet, and we can just do it live if you don't mind, okay?
I don't know.
There we go. Let me quickly give you my whiteboard again. So, and this is super handy homework for almost anybody to do, right? Because if you are able to answer this question, where you go, okay, so who is my ideal client and where do they hang out? Then all I've got to now start thinking is, okay, what are their top three? Just pick three. What are their top three problems? Because everybody comes to you because they have a problem that you can solve faster, or they were not aware that they had this problem. And I think this is where your content might resonate, because if you think of like patents, most people are clueless. They walk around in the dark. And once you start talking about it, ooh, they zone out because they think it doesn't apply to them, right? So tackling that problem is a more important thing, because then you can start thinking about the three types of solutions that you provide people just like them through examples. So this content, if you can't fill in this page very quickly, and don't complicate it, make it simple, simple. Like, who are they and where do they hang out? And you're quite right, some of them do not hang out on LinkedIn, but this is only one of the legs that we go into.
And I would also say that a lot of the things that we do are really about, getting your messaging out, developing rapport, creating content to reach your right fit client. If LinkedIn isn't a place, by the way, it probably is a good place to start, just because there is a huge patent attorney community here. Are you a patent attorney in India?
In India, yes.
Yeah. So, do you have a specific industry that you write patents for?
But what I'm trying to sell is not the patent writing, it's the patent selling and licensing.
Okay. Okay. Is there a specific area of patent licensing though?
No, I haven't narrowed down to my niche.
No, I know a lot of patent attorneys, and usually they're very specific in what they do. So
absolutely.
So you might want to think about that, because that'll help your niche as well. That'll help you get into your niche.
Got it.
I just wanted to point that out.
And it's the most important work that you can do that will save you years of trial and error is really drill down on that who. Because if you can come up with three types of people that your solution actually helps, they will see themselves in those examples faster than you can ever hold their attention trying to sell them a patent solution, right? So sell the problem and the fact that you have a solution for people like that at the top of the funnel. So don't try and reach all the way in and try and sell them the whole process, the whole 10-step process. Only sell them step one. And step one is for them to identify and go, oh, yeah, that's me. I'm in the right room. Yep. And the best way to do that is with examples. So this is what I'm talking about in the top of the funnel, key strategic examples where you can highlight the type of person or the type of business or the type of problem that these people have had, and don't try and sell a solution yet. Just try and fill the room. See what I mean? And convince them that there is a why, that why they need to do this, why this is important. And then you are building trust, right?
I would also just say that, you really have to be viewed as the expert advisor. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, by the way. If you don't have enough niche to be seen as an expert advisor in that industry, or an expert at what you do, or an expert in product development, or whatever your product is, then the catch hold is too big. You're not going to be able to attract people. They're going to be like, that's a generalist. Generalists are not expert advisors. Okay. It's like, if you have a problem with your health, you don't just go to a general practitioner. It might be your first stop to get some recommendations, right? But that's not where you're going. That's like that's just the path. You have to go through them, maybe. So I would think about that. And this is obviously way beyond the scope of just a LinkedIn. I mean, this is really what we do in our boot camp, because it's really about our boot camp's business revolution, because you want to rev up the evolution of your business. To rev up the evolution of what you're doing, you've got to be really pinpointing down on what type of person that you're looking for and why you're the right person for it. And then you create that content to attract that person to you.
Yeah. And, I think, let me just try and think on this screen, Sylvain and Chris and Sean and Joris have been in our boot camp where we have it must be 2-hour session on trust, because once you learn how to create trust, you can actually do it very quickly. And once you learn to sell trust, you're not selling to anything to anybody anymore, because it's all about trust. Because once you trust somebody, you'll actually buy anything that they're offering. But the step one is the who. Shalini, is for people to really see that they are in the right room, they're talking to the right person. So I would just think of LinkedIn as the beta testing, because here you can test it. You don't need to spend $45,000 on building a big funnel and all that stuff. Just you can test it, because you can do searches. You can actually find people. You can create a group. You can create a company. You can create content. You can create regular events in the middle of your funnel where you talk about these things. So you have that greased slide where you can take a person who needs your services, but it all starts with the who. So get really, really clear today about who your ideal client is. Think of like three solutions, and then come back tomorrow, and we will just keep going deeper and deeper in that. And I'm happy for you to ask 30 questions. I'm going to do this like Q&A after every one of the calls for that. But thank you. That's a very good question. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Anybody else got a burning issue, a burning question? I'm happy to stay online here. Margaret needs to go. Bye, Margaret.
Bye, Margaret. Yeah, this was great.
Really nice to see you.
Great.
Okay.
Great first day. I mean, this is really the tip of the iceberg, guys. We haven't gone too deep into anything because you got to understand the framework of it. But when we answer questions, just so you know, it really pertains to all of you. Yep. It's not, it's, I think there's one more question.
Yes, Sylvain, yeah. Got you, man. Oh, we're playing Mute Wars again. I will unmute you 1 second.
Okay.
There we go.
Perfect. There we go. So I've got all your material from previous LinkedIn. And I would like to know if within the 5 days, you're going to talk about the one tab and HubSpot CRM with LinkedIn.
What was the first thing?
The one tab.
Oh, the one tab thing. Yes.
Website. I don't know.
Yes,
How do you use it?
Yes, that is in my shake, rattle, and roll strategy. That is in the engagement component. That is on the agenda, definitely, where I will show you how to go and steal is maybe the wrong word, but grab the audience of the people who already have your ideal client. Yes, that is definitely on the engagement of it.
Because I didn't find the shake, rattle, and roll.
It is actually in the, I think you have the crushing it on LinkedIn program. I will do that. I will find the exact module. I know there's a lot of content in there. I will find that and I will send it to you. Okay.
Perfect. Thanks.
I'll do it right after this. Thank you, sir. All righty, Laura Louise.
Sir,
Are we good to go?
I think we're good to go. We're good till tomorrow.
Okay. So who's coming back tomorrow? Let's have a quick roll call. Everybody coming back. Definitely want to see Chris. I want to chat with you tomorrow. That is fascinating. Douglas, thank you very, very much. And Philip,
great.
Philip
All right,
in
well,
room 3 is coming. Yes, thank you very much. All right, guys, it was wonderful to see you. Hope you found it helpful and useful. And I will figure out the LinkedIn Live thing because that whole platform is down. But it's kind of easy to pop in here and you will get another link with the magic link, but it's basically the same link tomorrow. You just go to linkedin.obv.io and you'll pop right in here and you'll be in here. And then on